Welcome to the Pearls of Wisdom podcast, where we mix business, law of attraction, spirituality, and well-being with great guests and phenomenal stories. You'll hear hints, tips, and up-to-the-minute information on digital communication from an expert in her field. Pearl has some wonderful individuals in her networks, and she will be interviewing them all at some point in the future. Enjoy your listening.
Hello and welcome to the Pearls of Wisdom podcast. I have the wonderful chance to interview the very, very dear friend of mine, Cathy Tatchell. Now, Cathy Tatchell is a psychic and a medium. I've known her for quite a while and her skill set is phenomenal. So I would now like to introduce you. Hello, Cathy.
Hello, darling Pearl. Thank you so much for inviting me to do this with you. I'm excited, got butterflies, but all is well. And I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Brilliant. I've been so looking forward to this interview because you've got so many skills and services that you can offer, that you can help others. And when you've done readings for me, they have been so spot on. I'm getting goosebumps already whilst we're talking.
Oh, thank you for saying that. Thank you so much. You're so kind.
Right. We're now going to jump in. Now then, listeners, take notes. Take as many notes as you can. We'll make sure, as I always do, I will put the descriptions and links to all of Cathy's services, websites, Facebook and everything in the description of this podcast. But make sure you reach out to her because she will help you in so many ways. Right. First of all, Cathy, can you describe your career path to date?
Well, my career path obviously started before I was born because I chose this as part of my life's purpose to help people in the best way that I can. So it started off consciously, my journey started off when I was in my 20s, when I discovered I had healing abilities. And that was a really strange occurrence, to be fair. I had my hand on the back of someone's neck. So I worked as a hairdresser. So I've done that for many years, which is another long story. But yeah, going back to the healing part, I put my hand on the back of someone's neck and they literally jumped away from me, saying that I'd burnt the back of their neck with my hand. And I just didn't know what was going on. I didn't understand it, but at that time I kept getting really powerful heat and burning and tingling sensations in my hand. So, which I didn't understand what that was. I thought I had something wrong with my hands. But I was later to find out through going to see, incidentally, another healer who then told me that I was a healer because I'd said I'm getting all these sensations in my hands. She said, "Oh, that's healing, darling. You're a healer." So I started my journey of consciously being aware of spirit and energy. I think I was about 27, but obviously things happened along the way that, in hindsight, they were the signs telling me of my future path. So, but I didn't recognise them at the time. So I was about 27 when I started working with energy and learning about healing and energy, being psychic and developing from then on. So, yeah, that was the first conscious awareness I had of anything other than this physical life.
That is brilliant. It's so nice to know and to hear that background and actually where your talents are coming from and how you learnt from that. So following on from that, can you name 3 things that made you choose your current career and why?
3 things. I suppose the first thing was that experience with the healing. Another experience I had was I started to hear voices, and I'm not schizophrenic, but that was another awakening for me, where I would hear voices, and those voices I now know was spirit, and they would tell me about things that were going to be happening in my life. And like certain people that I'd come into contact with, I'd meet, what was going to happen to my life and their lives. And so that was the second big conscious awakening I had. And I just thought, I didn't at the time take much notice of it, because I think I'd been used to that happening all my life. But then I started noticing that these things that I was being told did happen. And I thought, wow, what is this all about? So, I started to develop my intuition and my abilities to hear spirit and use my clairvoyance, develop my clairvoyance. So I sat in a circle for 8 years, a closed circle, developing alongside working with the cards and playing with the cards and meditating. I took several courses at the Arthur Finley Spiritual Development College. And, I've just come to the point, I've kind of been working with spirit unofficially, so as a hobby for quite a long time, good 30 years. And then it was only sort of last year before, I thought, no, I want to stop. I want to focus on this and make this my life. And actually now it's got to the point where it's all I think about. And I just love it. I love doing it. And I love being able to help. I love being able to give people clarity in their life. Sometimes I see challenges that people may have to overcome. But I just love it, and it's just me. So I think there is no actual one defining moment. It's just a collective of all the guidance that I've been given, and I've come to that point now where I'm working on my business. My son Jack's helping me with all the tech, because I'm not a techie person, and it takes my mind and my focus away from what I actually want to do. So I'm lucky I have got a VA, Susan Stedding. She helps me. She's very helpful, and my son Jack is very helpful going forward with all that techie stuff, so that I can actually concentrate on what I do.
And what you do, like you said, it really comes across when you do your lives on Facebook and you do readings. You do one card reading for so many people, and it's bang, 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 all the information comes through, and it's so spot on. The energy in the room and across the wavelengths and everything is massive. It's brilliant. I'm getting tingles already just talking about it, because it's wonderful.
Thank you.
So moving on from that then, what key values does your business offer you?
What key values? My personal key values are to be able to help, to expand and create and let other people see their worth and what they truly are, what we all truly are, which is spirit and divine love. So they're two of my key values, and that's what I love being able to do, and that's what I wish for everyone, to be able to know their worth, and that we are all powerful human beings and powerful souls. So I think, and not to get too lost in. Also, is like maintaining my own boundaries as well, because obviously I find this with lives. People, there's so many there ready and willing to receive a message, and it's I can't to everyone, obviously, but so it is about setting my own boundaries for myself as well, and making sure I'm self-caring and looking after myself.
Which is good, and we need you out there because you're helping so many people.
Thank you. That makes sense.
Yes, yeah, yes, it's making sense, and this is where the listeners will really pick up on what such a special character you are, and you're really sharing. And I'm sure listeners, even already, you can hear the passion that Cathy has in what she does, and that's coming across. So I'm going to ask you some more questions now.
Okay.
Right, this is one that I always throw in as it's a bit off-ball sort of thing, but it makes people think. What keeps you awake at night? Now, with you and what you do, probably lots of things keep you awake at night.
What keeps me awake at night is technology, I think. In the last year or so, or 2 years that I've been developing my business, the struggle with understanding technology and it taking me away from what I want to do and what I want to share. So really technology at the moment, and I love studying philosophy, spiritual philosophy. So I don't tend to worry about things too much, to be honest, mostly. So, to be honest, it is just technology at the moment.
And as you've said, you've got your VA, Susan Spedding, that's helping you, that's taking some of the stress away. And also you've got Jack, and Jack is phenomenal. He knows his stuff inside out. And so you've got that where he's actually helping you. So again, that's where you're moving forward, your business is growing, and you can concentrate on those values and those services that you do so well. So we are going to see you grow and blossom more and more as those things that are worrying you have been taken away, so you can serve us as you want to.
Absolutely, and I'm so grateful for both of them. The help is invaluable. It really takes the stress away from what I'm doing, so I can concentrate on what is me and what I love doing.
That is brilliant. Brilliant. Right. Now, you might have touched on this, but this again is where the listeners really know where they can reach out with you and where your services can actually help them. Where and how do you work best?
Where and how? Well, before COVID, I used to work one-to-one in person, but it doesn't really affect the quality of my readings now because it's completely all online. But it doesn't affect the quality of my connection because energy is energy. So you could, and it is pretty magical and amazing that energy can connect via all these radio waves or whatever they're called. So I work best on my own, and not completely on my own. Obviously, I have to have someone to work for, but I work best with spirit. I work best with energy, and creating the space that I need. So I make sure that the room where I work is always cleansed. I use a sound bowl and incense and candles to cleanse the room, and the tools that I use, like the oracle cards. And I always make sure that I meditate every day so that I strengthen. I've got that strong connection with spirit and source every day. So that's how I work best. Yes, I have done psychic fairs and things like that in the past, but that's not for me. I like quiet. I like that quiet connection all the time. So I did used to demonstrate in the spiritualist churches a few years ago too, but I do prefer working one-to-one.
Because I know when you've done readings for me, we've always done it over Zoom, haven't we? And they've been so spot on, because I remember the first reading you did for me, my mum came through and I sat there blubbing my eyes out, didn't I?
remember, darling. I can't. But, yeah.
I can, because it's so, I can see us on the call and things you were saying, and it was just wonderful. And I'm not going to cry. I will make sure I won't cry, but it was so lovely. And I remember that, and it meant so much to me. And like you said, that's done through Zoom.
I love touching people, being able to touch people's heart and giving them reassurance sometimes of their loved ones in spirit. I do get clients also that come to me that don't know anyone in spirit. So it's more about reading their energy. But I just love it when I do get someone that wants to hear from someone in spirit, and seeing and feeling that connection with that person in spirit, and being able to transfer that information to the client is pretty awesome, I think.
That is brilliant. And you are so good at it. You really are.
Oh, thank you, darling. Thank you.
I mean, the listeners can't necessarily see, but the way I'm speaking to Cathy now, we've both got great big grins on our faces because it was so special. It really is. I can't promote Cathy's work enough.
Oh, thank you, Pearl.
Right. Now, I think, again, you might have touched on this earlier, but if you could let us know, what tools do you use that makes your work life easier?
My work life easier, and the tools I use would be oracle cards. I did used to use tarot cards, but I've moved on to oracle cards because I prefer them. They've got a nicer feel to me. I connect better with them, and I love seeing the positivity in the oracle cards. So they're when I'm doing a one-to-one reading, I'll use the oracle cards, but you kind of use them like a lead into that person's energy. So I won't just see the card, it will give me a lead, and then I will see clairvoyantly pictures, and I will feel feelings around the message. So, yeah, it's about using, so the cards I use as a tool, but also all my senses, my clairvoyance, my clair-knowing, my sense, I don't know, I can't remember what the name of all the senses are, but I use all of them, so they're the tools.
That is brilliant, and it does, and you do it so well. I know I keep saying that, but you do. You are brilliant. You really are. Right, if I move on, right, what would you have done differently in your life if you'd known then what you know now? And then with me, I'm asking a psychic if you...
If I'd have known what I know now, I would have believed in myself and trusted myself more. And I would have trusted my gut feeling. Even though I said earlier that Spirit often told me what was going to happen. So, for instance, I can remember I parked my car once when I was in my 20s, and I was shown a vision of my car being smashed up. But because I wasn't aware, inverted commas, at the time, I just thought, oh, that's strange, and went off, done my thing, come back to my car being smashed up. So I definitely would have listened had I known about energy and spirit and my intuition at that time. I would have listened to my inner knowing a lot more. And then that would have stopped me making a lot of mistakes.
But we learn from some of those mistakes, don't we?
Definitely. And it gives us, through I've had a life like most of us, but through that experience, it builds on our empathy, and that is a massive thing to have with for everyone. But for what I do as a career now, it's so important to have empathy, because you have understanding, and understanding is huge, because when someone feels understood. That's such a healing experience.
It is. And you actually using the word empathy shows just how much understanding you've got, because so many people think they have empathy, but really they're playing at it and they don't really understand. They're saying the right words, but the feeling isn't behind it. True empathy is what you've got.
I like to think so, but I think there's a difference between empathy and showing someone sympathy.
Yeah.
Showing someone sympathy is quite shallow, I think, sometimes.
Yeah.
But when you have real empathy and you can make someone feel understood, I think that's so powerful.
Definitely. Right, next question. What is your biggest challenge and why?
My biggest challenge, I think, is something that I'm still overcoming, and that is to be visible and to be seen.
Well, this podcast is going to make sure that you're visible and seen. This is what I want to do, is let everyone know how great you are. And I'm hoping that this will really... People, when you're listening to this, make sure you share it far and wide to your friends and your family and see just where they can help Cathy.
Thank you. I am getting through it. I'm walking through that fear of visibility, and I'm doing. It's about taking the action, isn't it?
Yeah.
And once you start doing something that you've had fears of, it becomes less scary. So I am getting there, but it is, because I think when we're brought up as children to be not heard and not seen, like you're shoved in, be quiet, we don't want to see you. And that's how a lot of people were brought up, because my parents were brought up in the Victorian times, and it just carried on from there. So, but yeah, getting there.
Now is your time to shine. It really is. You are such a special lady, and we're going to make sure you shine as brightly as you possibly can.
Oh, thank you, Pearl. Thank you so much.
Right. Another question. I don't know how often people actually think about this, but how do you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered as having made a difference to at least one person's life. And I want to be remembered to having sown a lot of seeds in people's minds and have been part of their awakening.
And that, I mean, we can tick those boxes already, because you are, and you're going on, and you can guarantee that is definitely going to be something you'll be remembered for, because you are fantastic.
Thank you. Stop saying that, Pearl.
No, credit.
I mean, if you can, just hearing what you said about when I connected with your mum, just makes it worth it. And obviously I've had quite a few messages, feedback from people saying with the similar energy and words. So, I will carry on doing what I do and what I love doing, and hopefully that does reach people and touch people's hearts.
That is brilliant. It really is. Now, again, we might have touched on this, but this question I always ask, as a child, what did you want to be, and how close to that dream are you now?
As a child, I wanted to be a hairdresser. and I think that inspired thought, because I did actually go on to do an apprenticeship, and I've had a long career in hairdressing too, alongside developing my mediumship and my psychic abilities. But I think I was inspired, and I had that inspired thought to become a hairdresser, because it has given me the experience of human nature and people. So it's given me a greater understanding of of human nature and people, and also the confidence, because I was so shy and timid when I was at school, and then leaving that and going into a salon to actually having to talk to clients and people has developed my self-confidence in connecting with people. So I think that was definitely the right career choice for me moving forward.
Do you find then, if you're still doing hairdressing now, do you almost find that you end up doing a reading to the customer whilst you're working on their hair because you pick up so many things?
Not necessarily, no, because I do, when I'm working. When I'm hairdressing, which I do very little of now, but I'm doing hairdressing. So if I'm doing hair, I'm doing hair. But I do find myself talking about philosophy a lot. Well, with some clients, if they're ready to hear it, then it just comes out. But I do love talking spiritual philosophy.
Yeah, I think that, again, sharing a cup of tea, talking spiritual philosophy and connecting with people, that's probably one of my favourite things to do, because you've got that and you're learning from each other, and it's wonderful. Yeah. I mean, I can waffle about philosophy all day long. I probably get half of it wrong, but I still love doing it.
But it's lovely to be able to express yourself, isn't it? And be heard. And understood. That is just lovely. That's why we love connection as human beings.
Yeah. Brilliant. Right, this one. Now, I think everyone has fun with this next question, because now, can you name 3 titles of your favourite book and why you've chosen them? And it's reining it into 3. That's sometimes quite hard.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. So I've got the Audible app on my phone and my Kindle, and I'm actually I read Conversations with God, Neil Donald Walsh, many years ago. So I've just bought the Audible app, and I'm listening to that again, the series. So they're my favourite, because there's some proper gems in there, proper spiritual gems, and I'm loving that at the moment. So that's what they're the books I'm listening to at the moment. In the recent past, I've read Journey of Souls and The Destiny of Souls, and they're written by Michael Newton, PhD. He's actually passed over now, but he was a hypnotherapist. And he used to hypnotise people and regress people back into their past life. So he was interested in finding out the experience of their journey as they passed from their physical body back into spirit, and their experience of what happened when they were there. So I find that so fascinating. Because obviously when we're born, we come back here and we have amnesia, because we have to have amnesia to be able to re-experience ourselves and in this journey of life. But yeah, it's pretty amazing. So I would really recommend anyone getting that. So it's Journey of Souls and The Destiny of Souls, and it gives you an insight of what actually happens and some people's experiences as they pass through that tunnel back into the spirit world. And it's not only their last life, like he regresses people into many lifetimes, so all their passages back into spirit from many lifetimes. So I just love that. I find it fascinating. So that's the sort of books that I love and I read. Philosophy.
My reading list is getting larger and larger. Every time I'm interviewing people, I'm thinking, I've got to read that, I'm going to read that. I mean, I am seeing so many synchronicities across everything I'm doing at the minute. I've just started reading Celestine Prophecies by James Enfield. Now, I watched it. I didn't realise Amazon Prime had it on as a movie, and I watched it, and because of all the work I've been doing in growth and energy, it was like all these aha, ping, ping, ping moments and everything. It is everything what you're saying with these books. I'm thinking, right, yeah, I've got to read that. I've got to read that to learn and grow. And it's lovely. And this is why I always add this question. When we talk about books and what we love, everyone's passion comes through when they're speaking. And it's lovely to hear the passion, and you can see exactly how much joy someone's got from actually reading that information. Or like you said, from Audible, I will listen as much as I'll read, because us women, we multitask. So if we're listening, we're doing something else at the same time.
Absolutely. Yeah, I colour in as a hobby as well, so I've got a colouring in book, so I often put my earplugs in and listen to that while I'm colouring in. So yeah, that's what I do on my off time.
And that's
myself anyway.
Well, that's given me another idea as well. So I've got to start looking at colouring books as a way to release. Otherwise, I never stop. But yes, you've given me so many different ideas. Thank you. And I'm sure you've given the listeners so much to actually start look. And I'm sure, listeners, you'll be looking at those books as well. And I'll make sure I get those books from Cathy, and I'll write those in the description as well.
Oh.
Right. Right, next question. Who would you say are your key influencers and why?
Oh, wow. I think it's a really difficult question, because I think that everyone we meet influences us. But I think going back in time, obviously my parents, but the lady that taught me everything about healing that I know at the moment, or started me on my journey, so she would be the first one. Then the lady that I sat in a close circle with for 8 years, she was wonderful, very wise, and a great guide into what was happening. So she would be another one. And then I don't know, there's been so many people, and influencers can be show you what you don't want as well, can't they?
Yeah. And it all helps to guide you in the direction that you should be going.
Yeah. So I'll probably I love Neil Donald Walsh, the author. There's so many people, and I really, please forgive me if you hear this and I've left you out, but there has been so many people, and
But that,
I can't think of
that in itself is wonderful to hear, that have had such a rich connection with people, that they've all influenced you in some way, that they've left that mark that you've thought, yes, like you said, being positive or negative, you can take from it and learn and move forward. Some of us, sorry, carry on.
I just think everyone is our teacher.
Yeah.
They teach us something in one way or another.
Yeah, definitely. I am loving this. I know I keep saying it, but I'm learning so much. And I think the listeners you will probably find, I'll put this out now, because we're having some really popular guests on, and I am likely to invite them back, because we're finding we're learning so much information. So what we're learning, I won't throw it at you straight away, but I am going to ask you, please, will you come back and talk some more after this? Because it's great to learn so much from you, Cathy. It really is.
Of course I will. Yeah, I'll be happy to. Thank you. You make it so easy and comfortable. So.
Well, that's what I aim to do, because it's just like sitting down sharing a cup of tea, but we're doing it over the airwaves, and that's where you get the best information from people, and the people listening can enjoy that, and they pick up on the energy. And again, like I'm saying, I'm getting pins and needles and goosebumps. It's lovely. It really is lovely. Right, going on. This is probably the longest question I set, so I have to take a deep breath before I read it. If you could share a great meal with anyone alive or dead, what would the meal be and who would it be with?
The meal would be vegetarian, vegan. I'm sort of in between vegetarian and veganism. But I like cheese, so I can't quite give that up. So that would maybe a meze or something like that for the food wise. The person would be. I know this sounds a bit grand, but I would sit with God.
Oh, that is wonderful. Oh, God, I've got goosebumps and tingles and everything. That is wonderful.
Well, God, I know God is everywhere, but I would sit with a personified God. I would love to do that.
Oh, that has really got me going. The thoughts that would lead. This is going to have to be another episode where we talk about that, because that is brilliant. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Can you imagine the love?
Oh,
that would be love energy that would around the table that would happen.
yeah, definitely. I know I keep saying it, the listeners, but I've got goosebumps from that. It just sounds so perfect to actually share that, and just think of and the conversations you could have, and just think of the learning. Yes, wonderful. Right, now this is when you get to really blow your own trumpet here. This is where I'm asking you, right, what services or items do you offer to your clients and customers?
So I offer spiritual and psychic readings. So that's where I'll work with psychic. For me, I believe it's working with the person's energy. So so I work with that person, the client's energy, and with spirit energy too. If there's anyone in spirit that they want to hear from, then if there's a really lovely love connection between them and the spirit, they will really, 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 really blend into my energy, and I can give them evidence of life, survival of life after death. So that's what I offer. I am a Reiki healer, but I don't tend to do that anymore because I love communication, verbal communication. That's the way I love expressing healing. So so it's my readings really. So sometimes it can be purely psychic. Sometimes it can be psychic and spiritual, as in producing evidence of loved one in spirit. But it's all about. I just absorb inspiration from everywhere, and it's whatever that person needs at the time.
Yeah.
It's never sort of, right, this is going to be a spiritual reading, because sometimes it's not. It's whatever that person needs at the time.
Yeah.
So, that's what I do.
Brilliant. In that case, my last question to you is, do you have any special offers at present that the listeners can know about so they can grab that and say, yes, please, Cathy, we want some of that?
I haven't got any special offers at the moment, but we're working on ManyChat, Jack and I, or Jackie's. So I am going to be putting a special offer out on ManyChat in a couple of weeks' time, so that I can reach more people with that. Does that make sense?
Yep. What I will do, like I've said, when I put all the links in the description, I'm saying this to the listeners, I'll make sure that when I've got that when that's live, I'll add that link to the description so you know that you can go through and follow through and know you'll find Cathy and Jack.
Yeah, thank you. Jack's always in the background. He's not normally on camera, but I should let him have a bit of camera time, shouldn't I? But it helps me with the technology. So as soon as we've set that ManyChat up, I will start using that, and then I'll be able to promote some special offers that will be coming out shortly.
Okay.
Does that help?
That will be brilliant. I mean, I'm saying to the listeners now, you have got so much information from Cathy. Just reach out, talk to her, see how she can help you with her services, because she has such a fantastic energy around her. You can't but smile when you work with Cathy. It's wonderful. And it just leaves me to say, thank you, Cathy. It has been a pleasure interviewing you, and thank you for being my guest.
Oh, my God, thank you so much, Pearl. You've just made it so pleasurable to have a chat. It's just like having a chat with your friends, isn't it? And thank you for this opportunity. Much appreciated. It's
a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Pearls of Wisdom podcast. We hope you have enjoyed the content shared. Please share with others who would like to enjoy these interviews and discussions. If you would like to support the podcast, please follow the link in the episode description. If you want to be a guest on the show, reach out and let's discuss next steps. Until the next time, enjoy your listening.